Folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. Today we're going to talk all things Fantasmal Flames. I did just get done with my first stream of it last night where we did open almost 22 full booster boxes, so I did get a pretty good idea of the set. Also, I'm going to give you some things to think about. We're going to make some comparisons. I'm going to show you how other like things have performed or have been performing to get some sort of idea on what to expect after release of this set going forward. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Before we do that, I gotta shout out today's video sponsor. It is Arizona TCG. They are your source for consignment on all of your graded cards. You can either pick to sell, buy it now, or you can use the weekly auctions, whichever one works best for you. They make it really easy. If you want to adjust the pricing, you can do that real time. Go and adjust the price of your listings. Also, guys, they have 100% positive feedback on their eBay. Almost 20,000 items sold, thousands of followers that will have their eyes on your items. So, guys, if you do want to check out Arizona TCG, I will leave the link to their site in the description and the comment section below. All right, so let's start out with the big bad Charizard because that's what everyone's talking about. So, as of right now, these are pre-release sales on eBay. Some auctions are ending as high as 1,500. We have other ones ending, as low as 1,025, 1,050, 1,150. It seems like it's a bit all over the place. It does seem like it's somewhere north of $1,000 though. TCG Player pretty much tells us the same story. The lowest pre-sale there is $10.50, and if we go look at the recent sales, there was only one at $8.50. So it does seem like the people that are paying up are choosing to go to eBay. They're probably, in my opinion, looking for gradable copies, which is why they're probably willing to pay a little more for them. And so we're going to see where things shake out after release. If you want my opinion, yes, it's going to drop. We did pull 3 of the Charizard SIRs last night on stream out of about 22 boxes. And so that's under 800 packs. Now, I think we did a little better than average. However, we pulled 0 gold Charizards, which brings us to the gold Charizard. It's actually pre-selling on eBay quite a bit less on average than what the SIR is going for. It seems like it's at the top range 1,000, 1,050, on the bottom range in the 800s. So I would say on average this may be in the 8 to 900s, whereas on average this Charizard looks to be well in the thousands. Now, there are no listings yet for the gold Charizard on TCG Player when you go to Fantasmal Flames, and so they just don't have it up yet. So unfortunately, we can't kind of compare it to TCG Player. We'll see what happens when they do get up, but I would guess they are quite a bit more rare than the SIR is going to be. We'll get into talking about that in just a second, but I did want to show the price of the boxes. The lowest price box I could find on eBay from a legitimate seller, TNT Sports Cards has them for $298.88. It is just under $300, whereas TCG Player now pre-order is back to $309.90. It is having a bit of a recovery. Now, everyone knows TCG Player, or if you don't know, only certified hobby shops can actually pre-sell on TCG Player, so normally you're going to see cheaper prices on eBay. After release, we'll kind of see where things stabilize for Phantasmal Flames, but I will say one thing. We are getting 2 waves again, so we only got half of the product for booster boxes. They are delayed on the Pokemon Center orders of booster boxes, PC ETBs, all the other items. The ETBs in general are delayed pretty much everywhere. So there's going to be quite a bit of product missing at release, meaning there won't be as many packs in circulation right away, which could keep the price of these booster boxes up. In my opinion, I see it happening in some sort of way. The way that Mega Evolution happened is it'll probably stay somewhere around $300 in the $290 to $310 range until the second wave of booster boxes gets released, at which point it probably will see a decent sized correction, probably in the mid 200s. I don't know if it's going to drop more than that, but that would be my opinion. If we go and look at the booster pack prices, it looks like booster packs are, I don't know, $10 to $11 pre-release on TCG. On eBay, we can look at some of these like three-pack blisters. Here's one pack at $12. The 3 packs are going for right around $30, so about $10 a piece. Here with shipping, a little over $10 a piece for this 4-pack lot. The blisters are obviously going for a little more, about $12.50 a piece. So it seems like the packs are somewhere between $10 to $12 a piece right now, which again makes sense with the price of the booster boxes. So that's what's happening with Phantasmal Flames. What I want to look at are other like items to kind of get an idea of where we're going from here. All right, so let's look at Mega Evolution. Like I said, they just got their second wave. It's all made its way to the market. The market has corrected. However, It's stabilized north of $250 a box. And it's now rising again. It's getting back to 260. The sales volume is very high. 107 of these boxes sold in the last 3 days, right? Before that, it was 177 in the prior 3 days and 187 units in the 3 days before that. And so these boxes are still moving at a rapid rate. And honestly, I could see these actually continue to rise and make a run back to the high 200s, if not $300. This could give you an idea of what Phantasmal Flames may look like after the next wave comes, and what kind of price points may be a good time to move in if you're wanting to get in early. When we look at Mega Evolution, right, the gold cards are still taking the top spots, right? The gold Lucario is more than the Lucario SIR. The gold Gardevoir is more than the Gardevoir SIR, which makes sense because these rarities are much higher. If we go look at Mega Evolution, right, these are 1 in 1,260 packs. Specific one is 1 in 2,520. Whereas the SIRs are only 1 in 101 packs. A specific SIR is only 1 in 1,008. And so, obviously, desirability plays a huge part in artwork and all that. But it being the same Pokemon, you can already go ahead and cut that out, right? Because the popularity of the Pokemon doesn't make a difference because they're the same Pokemon. So it really has to do with rarity is what is driving the price points. Now, will this ever flip like we've seen in past gold cards where the actual, the other colorful cards, overtake them? There's no way of knowing. But for right now, the gold cards are reigning supreme, which is different than what we're seeing with the Charizards, right? And so with that being said, is that Charizard artwork just that top tier and that sought after that it does hold the top spot? Or do people buy into the rarity and the gold Charizard overtake it once release happens, which could be a thing. Like I said, I did pull 3 Charizard SIRs out of almost 800 packs and 0 gold Charizards. So it's really going to come down to desirability. I honestly, in my opinion, I would think the gold would take the top spot in Phantasmal Flames, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Maybe that desirability of that card is just too high. Either way, I think they're both going to drop from their pre-release prices. I think that's pretty much given at this point. Let's look at Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames boxes are at $300, so they've done relatively well. They're one of, I would say they're definitely in the top half of the Scarlet Violet era in terms of value. And Obsidian Flames, it's a, I would say, subjectively weaker set as well. It's an objectively smaller set than a lot of the other sets, the same way Phantasmal is, right? There's very few SIRs. You have 1, 2, where are they all at? 2, 3, 4, 5 SIR, 6 SIRs. Is there more than 6, or is Poppy the last one? Yeah, that's it. So there's 6 SIRs, whereas in Phantasmal Flames, there are 5 SIRs. Now, when we look at the pull rates, Obsidian Flames Charizard is only 1 of 216. That's it. Very, very easy to pull. Okay, when we go look at the SIRs in general, here we go. They're 1 in 32 packs. A specific one is 1 in 192. So 1 in 192, you could say, they put Charizard at 216, 192 to 216. It's relatively easy to pull that Charizard, and that is reflected in the price, right? So thinking that the Phantasmal Flames Charizard is going to get anywhere near this price, I think that's dreaming. Even if Phantasmal Flames is technically the same price per booster box as Obsidian Flames is, the Charizards are not on the same level. The pull rates are not on the same level. What I mean is, here's Mega Evolution. I'm willing to bet the pull rates are going to be relatively similar to what Mega Evolution was, and they were 1 in 101 for an SIR. And honestly, I felt that pretty much to be true last night. I got about 2 SIRs per case. Okay, maybe you can get 3 if you're lucky, but it's relatively average of 2 per case. Meaning, even if there's only 5 SIRs, when in Mega Evolutions there's 10, well, that's why the specific one is 1 in 1,008. And so even if the pull rates are exactly the same, 1 out of 101, and there's only 5 SIRs, that would still put the Charizard SIR at 1 in 505. So it's still over double as hard to pull, almost 2.5 times harder to pull than the Obsidian's Flames Charizard. And then if the Mega Hyper Rare, whatever this Gold Rare is the same rarity, it's going to be 1 in 1,260 packs for the Gold Charizard. So either way, the Gold Charizard and the Charizard SIR are going to be a good amount more expensive than Obsidian Flames. Now, are they going to be in line with some of these cards? We see the Lucario and the Gardevoir somewhere around like the mid to low 200s market price. We see the Golds around, the $400 to $500 market price. it's hard to tell. It's a Charizard. It's definitely much more desirable than a Gardevoir Lucario, but again, it's about half as easy to pull, so that's going to play a role. If I had to guess, even though it's easier to pull, I'm going to go ahead and say the Charizard is going to find its bottom higher than either this Lucario or Gardevoir in the SIR, and the gold's going to be higher probably than the Lucario or the Gardevoir. Maybe the gold's up there in the $600-700 range. Maybe the SIR, sticks up near the gold, maybe a little lower. We'll see how it plays out. But even though it's technically easier to hit than any of these are, I still believe the desirability of the card is going to carry it forward. Overall, my opinion of Phantasmal Flames as a whole, it's a Charizard set. It's through and through a Charizard set, nonetheless, the same way Obsidian Flames is, the same way Burning Shadows was. Sure, you could say there's a Meowth, IR, there's a Piplup IR, maybe some people will like some of the other SIRs, but basically, it is an all-out chase for the gold or the SIR Charizard. Now, the SIR Charizard, I think, is pretty unanimously decided. It is the best Charizard card ever printed, at least in modern times. And the gold Charizard is going to be one of the most rare cards to pull, up there with the Gardevoir and Lucario from Mega as one of the hardest cards to pull. Maybe second to only some of the mid-era Sword and Shield Alt-Art VMAXs. Otherwise, it's right up there with some of the rarest cards in the hobby. So in my opinion, I think it's enough. I think the SIR Charizard and the Gold Charizard are going to be enough to carry this set, as crazy as that sounds. It may have some fluctuations in the medium term, but I think it'll be just like Obsidian Flames. I think it'll be up there in the top half of this Mega era. Even though it's a small set, even though it's a Charizard set, it's enough. The chase is there. Everybody's going to want that card probably into eternity. So that's my take on Mega Evolution. Still a lot of fun to open. Pull rates are great, by the way. Pull rates are average of 14 to 16 hits a box again. I think you get an average of like 2 to 3 full arts, get an average of like 3 to 4 illustrations. The rest are going to be EXs or other. And so pull rates are great. It's fun to open. You're going to get a hit more than 1 out of every 3 packs, which I think people love. And, the SIRs are still hard to hit. So there's that rarity chase. There's that fun factor. I think Pokemon's knocking it out of the park with how they're putting together these sets. And so that's Phantasmal Flames for you guys. That is one man's opinion. You don't have to take it, but this is my channel and that's what I put out. So if you like it, hit subscribe and I'll be back here in a new video soon. I'm out.